live from the #1 fishing port in America. Welcome to our show. Yeah, baby mama, we got a big one tonight. This is the place where we highlight the talented, the interesting, and the entertaining. Tonight, Chops, oh my gosh, we are dealing with some incredible talent tonight.
Oh, yes.
Joining us will be accomplished musician, a legend, Mr. Jackie Santos. Drummer for Tavares and John Cafferty, the Beaver Brown Band, and more. And we have amazing up-and-coming talent, Miss Amy Manny. And of course, we don't want to forget. We're not going to forget. I'm not going to forget.
What's that?
The sidekick of the century, Mr. Chops Turner, right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, man, get that, man. Come on, man.
Come on, let me get in a little more. Come on, Chops Turner, come on.
Come on, now. Come on, Jay.
Feel the love, baby. Feel the love.
I'm telling you, boy. I'm like Rodney Dangerfield. I get no respect.
hey, we beg for it as long as we get it. We'll take it. Well. Anyway, we're going to get to our guests in a few moments, but we have to get updated on the news, right? You ready for the news? Ready for the news? Well, if you're watching live tonight, there's a really huge debate tomorrow night between presidential candidates Trump and Biden, right? That'll be tomorrow night. You know, these candidates do have something in common. They're actually getting up there in age. It's like 90 is the new 70. These guys are way up there, there. It's going to be like who gets extinct first, at the end of the debate. But, comparing these two is like comparing apples and an orange. Just think. Wait a minute, just think. Let me try this one. Just think. If Joe Biden wins, it's orange is the new Biden. No, maybe not. All right. Only took a week to come up with that. Entire week of sitting at the desk and agonizing over this stuff. All right. Well, anyway, you're gonna like this news. Governor Baker announced that at restaurants, eating at the bar is now okay as long as you get those glass partitions in between. So I was just thinking. Remember a few years back when you were single and I was single? So you're sitting at a bar, right? And you want to have a conversation with an attractive woman next door, right? Or next to you at the bar. So what do? You do hey, my name is Chops. Hey, nice to meet you. You know, like pork chops. Hey. Tomahawk chop, you're never going to get through. It's a terrible thing. The Cannabis Control Commission, what the Cannabis Control Commission, they kind of regulate marijuana here in the state of Massachusetts. Well, they're actually considering allowing direct adult delivery of cannabis on a limited basis. Imagine that. Wow, boy, times have sure changed. Haven't they, Chops? Times have changed.
They sure have.
Door-to-door doobies, I never would have thought. The only thing I ever got delivered to my house when I was a kid was Girl Scout cookies. Now it's Blunts or Us. I was wondering, Chops. Are you going to be able to order? Are you going to be able to order roaches on Amazon? Let me see. 10 roaches. Let me see. Drag to cart. Good to the last drag. Oh, gosh. Times have changed, though, a lot, haven't they? Boy, back in the day, if somebody was caught with marijuana, man, it was like, oh, my God. Now it's like, you get out of the corner, the store in the corner, and you can find out. Well, we have a retired state police officer here tonight, as a matter of fact, father of Amy Manny, yep. So we have a good story about the state police tonight. State police officer Steve Salzman rescued an injured owl that he found in the middle of the street out in Boxford, Massachusetts. Wasn't that nice?
Boxford.
Yeah, rescuing the owl. They're trying to figure out how it got there, and it's like, who the hell cares? In fact, who the hell knows? Yeah, we have really hit rock bottom, haven't we? We have hit rock bottom. Yeah, I know. I thought... That was the worst joke, and it got the best response. Who the hell cares? Anyway, I got to ask you a question, Chops. I thought owls only came out at night.
Me too.
Yeah, right. Speaking of only coming out at night, Chops, how you been there?
Thanks a lot, man.
How the hell are you? The freaks come out at night. Yeah, you remember that song? Oh, my God. Oh, God help us.
Oh, man.
Well, anyway, Chops, how are you? Nice to see you're in a good mood tonight. I can tell.
Nah, man, these guys, I see these guys, Jackie.
You feeling good?
Celebrities, man.
Did you have any deliveries to your house before you came over here?
Nah, not today.
No, not tonight. Not tonight.
Oh, man, you're crazy.
Actually, you know Jackie Santos, right?
Oh, yeah, very good.
Yeah,
very
you guys
well.
do. In fact, before you got here, I said, "Hey, you know Chops?" And he goes, "Chops? Who doesn't know Chops?" And I'm like, "That's absolutely right."
Jackie's
That's
a
like,
legend. Who doesn't know Jackie's a legend?
yeah, well, we have a lot of Chops is kind of a legend too. You know? Tell you, our first guest is nothing short of amazing. A great drummer, played with Tavares, John Cafferty, and the Beaver Brown Band, traveling the world, and is a professor at the Berklee College of Music. Would you please welcome Mr. Jackie Santos right over here?
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
I'm glad you didn't run for the doors about 5 minutes ago.
I
there.
almost did.
Hey, it's great to see you here. You know, we've followed your career, people that are from our area, playing drums for Tavares, your great, accomplished musical career. But let's go back to the beginning, right? Of Cape Verdean descent, born here in New Bedford, I remember. And
yes.
how did you decide to start playing the drums and get involved in music? How did that happen?
I may be showing my age now, but watching the Ed Sullivan Show back in the day, Buddy Rich was on.
Yeah.
And I watched Buddy Rich, I'm like, oh, are you kidding me? I couldn't believe somebody could play that well. And that's when I decided to play the drums. And my first drum set was a garbage cans set up in my backyard. I had 3 garbage cans, and that's how I practiced. From there, I went to a snare drum, and then from a snare drum to drum set. And I studied with the late Chick Boucher, House of Drums. I studied with him for I think it was probably 2-3 years. And I studied with Al Mello for a year. Then I kind of outgrew that, and I had to find somebody that I couldn't outgrow, and that was Alan Dawson in Boston. And he taught Harvey Mason, Tony Williams, Peter Erskine, Vinnie Collier, all these famous drummers. And I actually studied with him for 5 years. And
You had some influences in New Bedford too, right? Some early influences here in the city?
oh yes, you know, my first influence was Paul Nunes. And he had a band called Jury Christie Upbeats, and I was delivering papers. It was right on Union and Emerson Street. He lived on Emerson Street. And I would hear these guys practice, and it was Jury Christie Upbeats. Jury was up front with Billy Paris, and it was 5 horns and a rhythm section. And I would peer into the window, and I was like 10 years old, I think, maybe 11. And I was, are you kidding me? I mean, this is exactly what I want to do. And I remember seeing them at Lincoln Park. Must have been 12, 13 years old. And that's when I really decided that I wanted to be a drummer. And that's when I got into the band, the Bedfords. That was my first band. But, you know, and then watching my good friend Victor Fonseca, I've known him since I was a kid. Man, he's 75 years old, always wearing a smile. He's got the most outgoing personality. And that's something that I wanted to emulate. I wanted to be somebody that everybody was going to like. Nothing that was contrived, but who I am, and not be somebody that I'm not.
How did you end up playing with Tavares?
Well, the first time I saw them was at the Portsmouth Ramada Inn. That was back in 1975 or 76. And actually, I knew Tiny and Chubby when I was a kid. I was 14, 15 years old. And I was starting to make my bones. I was actually been playing clubs since the age of 14.
Wow.
And Tiny and Chubby were living on Kempton Street in apartment buildings. All these great musicians were living there. And it was, at the time, it was Chubby and the Turnpikes. And then Tavares formed. And I always wanted to play with Tavares, and they were playing at the Portsmouth Ramada Inn. And I went to go see them. And Ralph, and Chubby and Tiny had been telling Ralph about me. So I went to go see them, and I made sure that I was sharp. I had a suit on. And I walked into the dressing room, and Chubby and Tiny said, Ralph, this is the kid that we've been telling you about. So I said, Ralph, I says, I want to play with Tavares. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be your next drummer. And he said, you're a pretty confident young man. I said, well, you have to be confident in this business. And lo and behold, you know, we shook hands, we talked for a bit. I walked out the door, and he said, Jackie, says, I can't tell you when, but you will be our next drummer. Well, I joined this band from Australia. They were called the Australians, from Sydney, Australia. And I was playing in Fort Worth, Texas, and I was living there actually for like about 8 months. I was staying at a Holiday Inn. And one day I was in the room, and I said, you know what? I said, what am I doing out there? I need to go back home. Went back home, And I was playing with local bands, and I started a band, Music Affair. And we were playing at the Engine Company in Providence. And I was playing, and the manager tapped me on the shoulder and says, "Hey, Jackie, you have a call from Mexico City." Mexico City? I said, "There's only one guy that's going to call me from Mexico City. That's Ralph Tavares." I got on the phone, and Ralph says, "You quit that band tonight." He says, "We have a one-way ticket for you, waiting for you at the airport.
Wow.
You are now a member of Tavares."
All right, that's
So
fantastic.
they flew me out to Mexico City, played out there for a couple of days. We played Acapulco, flew back home, flew to Hawaii. We played Maui, Honolulu, 5 days vacation, flew back home, then I flew back out to LA, and I recorded Midnight Special, Don Kirshner's rock concert, and the Bob Hope Special all in 1 week.
Well, you sent me video of that, and we actually have a video of you in the background playing the drums in the Don Kirshner's rock concert performance of Tavares, and we also have a drum riff, and we have some other video that we edited down. So let's take a look at that video now. We're going to talk about it in a second. Oh, yeah, that's a pro right there. That's a pro right there. Hey, at the very beginning, of the Don Kirshner's rock concert, we can see, the members of Tavares singing in the front. We see you in the background. You look pretty much the same, but the fact that that's you in that video is just like, we think about it. Wow, that's great.
The odd part about this is I've been looking for those videos for years. Because Don Kirshner had put out all the old tapings, but he hadn't seen anything with Tavares on it. And finally, Tiny found it and sent it to me about 4 or 5 months ago.
Yeah, it's really nice to
Yeah,
have.
it's great to have those kind of memories.
Tell me about the traveling around. I know you were able to perform not only with Tavares, but you were able to work with so many well-known artists, right? Household names.
We shared the stage. One of my very first gigs was the first month with Tavares. I went playing from a 50-seat club to 50,000 people, the Houston Astrodome with Michael Jackson. We opened up for Michael. And then we did, 3 years in a row, we did all the baseball stadiums with Michael, Ray Charles, B.B. King, Aretha Franklin, Gladys Knight, the Temps, Four Tops, Peebo Bryson, Ward, Teddy Pendergrass, you name it.
That's a pretty
George
good.
Benson, I mean,
That's
everybody.
a pretty good job of name dropping right there. That's
Well,
pretty
you know
good.
what? Because I remember all that stuff. It's great.
Yeah, isn't that
Are you
awesome?
kidding me?
And you really got to know a lot of these folks,
All
right?
all of them. Every one of them.
So what is it like when you're actually interacting and meeting people that are that well known on a personal level? What is it like?
It's like I'm speaking to you.
Yeah. So they're not any different than anybody else.
They were that down to earth.
Yeah.
Marvin Gaye was another one. And we were very, very fortunate. And Tavares was so well respected in the music industry. When Aretha Franklin and Gladys Knight took sick, they personally requested Tavares to fill their spot.
Wow.
That's the kind of respect they had. I'll tell you one story. We're in the airport. We're flying out. And I was sitting, and Ralph was sitting right next to me. And I happened to go look to my right. And I'm looking, and I'm saying, Ralph, I think that's Ella Fitzgerald. So Ella Fitzgerald was walking toward us. She stopped. Me and Ralph got up, and I went like this. And Ella goes just like this. I just love your music, and you guys can really sing. She went in her pocketbook and got a pen and piece of paper. She goes, next time you guys come to L.A., call me. I want to have a barbecue in your honor.
Wow.
And I handed the number to Ralph.
You were a fan of hers, and she was
Oh,
a fan of you guys.
Come on, it was
Unbelievable.
Joe Williams was another one. All these Dizzy Gillespie.
Oh, wow. You know, my dad, right? I lost my dad a few months back, 90 years old. Big fan of Joe Williams with the Count Basie. And he used to do that every day. Every day I got the blues. Every day, you know,
Joe
and all that
Williams,
stuff. It was great.
We used to play a
that stuff
club
was
in
great.
Florida,
Yeah.
Fort Lauderdale called Mr. Pips. Joe Williams came to see us. You know who was a fan of Tavares? Who was there every single night? Jaco Pastorius.
No, sir. Isn't that
Every
incredible?
single night. As a matter of fact, me and John Harrison got to jam with Jaco at his house.
Wow. I know you did a lot of traveling all over the world in front of these big arenas with Tavares.
my
So
God,
what was that like to go from, like you said, to that 50-seat, club to all of a sudden you're in these arenas?
You know, I just looked at it as like, you know, it's,
You must have been like, how did this
I'm
happen?
in front of 50,000 people, but I'm just going to play.
Yeah.
And
Right.
and just do my thing. And that was the crux of the whole thing. It was like, I wasn't, this guy was like, had a big head or anything like that. I was just happy to be there.
Yeah, absolutely. I
was happy to
imagine.
be
You must
there.
have thought to yourself, wow, this is amazing.
Man, I mean, you're talking about playing a Copacabana, Royal Albert Hall, London Palladium, Hammersmith Odeon, doing all the TV shows. It was, and people don't really realize how big Tavares really was.
Yeah,
They
I
were
know.
just incredible.
Huge.
And they're still doing it.
Yeah, they went back and started traveling
They're
again.
still
and-
doing it, and they still sing like they did 40 years ago. It's
Yeah.
incredible.
I know you brought some pictures. We're going to kind of
Sure.
zip through them a little bit, and there are just so many memories. I mean, you must have a scrapbook that, could go from here to Fall River, right?
Plus the traveling that I've been doing back and forth to Cape Verde and China.
Hey, Buddy Rich.
Buddy Rich,
Yeah.
that was late 60s. That was me and Joe Keane.
Oh, Joe Keane got in there. Look at
2
Joe
years
Keane.
old.
So cute.
Oh, 2 years old.
Oh, so cute, Joe Keane. I don't see the drum. Oh, he does have the drumsticks. Yeah, he's got the
And
drumsticks.
that was an ad of us, a drum clinic in Praia, Cabo Verde, Praia, 2 years ago. And I was being honored and received a plaque at Praia at a local school for donating instruments to the school. And that's an ad for Zildjian cymbals.
Yeah, that's a nice picture. It looks like a promo.
It is a promo
Yeah,
picture, yeah.
nice.
And that right there is the president of Cape Verde and the provost of Berklee College of Music, Larry Simpson. That was the signing of joining the Berklee College in Cabo Verde. And this was a clinic that I gave in Sa Vicente last year.
How'd you end up with the Berklee College of Music?
Well, that happened that picture right there is the Bedford. It's the first picture of the Bedford.
Oh, yeah, you mentioned that.
And that's the prime minister and the ambassador to Cape Verde, Cabo Verde, which is they want to call
Yes.
it now. And and that right there is a promo ad for a clinic I gave in Dalian, China. Yep, and that's a picture of I believe Mayor Walsh
Yes.
from Boston, the prime minister, and that's the Australians right there. Picture of the Australians group I was with in the 70s before Tavares.
I can tell that's the 70s.
Yeah, what's it say? You talk about a jumpsuit. And that picture was there was taken in Bermuda with Randy Jackson, one of the Jackson brothers. Chubby and, yeah.
And that's back to Buddy Rich again. Yeah, I was asking about the Berklee College of Music. To be a professor there, that's what an honor that is.
Oh, my God. To have an impact and imprint on drummers across the world is just incredible. That's really the true blessing. I love performing, but right now my passion is with educating. And that whole thing came about with the former department chair, Dean Anderson, actually called me in 92 to teach there, and I was traveling pretty heavily with Beaver Brown. And he had called me for a couple of years, and then 94, he called me again. So, we really want you here. We're going to hold up for your answer. And it was September of 94. And I decided, man, that's where I want to go right now is education. And I still continue to play with Beaver Brown and do things. And, and one of my best memories is the drummer Harvey Mason, who's a drummer with Foreplay. And he personally asked me to fill his spot with Bob James. And that's when I said to myself, of all this that I'm doing right now, being asked to sub for one of the greatest drummers in the world, I said, I think I'm all right.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
I think I'm pretty good. And
having traveled all around the world and everything with Tavares and, the Beaver Brown Band and all that. You talk about the joy you got out of that, but there's something about teaching that I can tell really gets to you. You really enjoy passing all that knowledge along to a young student, right? What's that like?
To expound my knowledge and wisdom with these young kids is gratifying. I mean, if I can cut their time by 10 years of what I went through to be a successful musician, I've done a good job as being a professor.
Well, we had Joaquin on here, your son, and he picked up drums from you, and he's playing. He's a phenomenal
Not because
drummer.
he's my son. He's the best young talent around because he has all the attributes of what I feel, and all of the professors in our department consider what a great drummer is, and is having feel, time, finesse, touch, interpretation, every note with soul, attitude, and character. Those are the 8 bullet points that I think what a great musician is. And once you have that embedded in your subconscious, man, you're on your way because you're right in the middle of the ballpark.
Well, I see you there in those clips, right? And you're making facial expressions and you're making body movements, and I can tell that the music is like going right through you, right? Is that what's happening?
Absolutely. It's you have to move your body in such a way to make the beat dance. Because you can't sit there and just play like a board. You have to move your body. Once you do that, then the beat starts to dance. And because the rhythm section relies on the drummer. We're the heartbeat of the music.
Absolutely. When you add drums, it changes the whole thing.
We deliver the pulse.
Absolutely. Well, I got to tell you, it's been an absolute joy having you come by. We have to have you come back again because you know why? Like in part 2 of the interview, we want to know about everything that happened like on a road and stuff like that.
Many stories, I'll tell you. And, with Tavares, Tavares.
Great guys, though, huh?
Oh, yes. They were a springboard to everything that I'm doing right now. I really thank those guys a lot. They mean a lot to me. And they're actually, man, we're brothers. It's family. We're all family. And I love them, man. God bless Tavares. God bless everybody I've played with and has given me the opportunity to express my talent.
Thank you so much for stopping by. The great Jackie Santos right here.
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right. Tonight is super talented and just terrific in every way. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Amy Manny.
For a minute, remind myself life's not a competition. Don't need to be the only one that's winning to have a good time. And comparison's a thief. Don't feel like diving into the jealousy when you're only in knee deep. It's hard to realize you're starting to sink, yeah. I gotta stop myself. By myself, it's not all about me. I gotta stop myself, so I can breathe. I wanna be free. I wanna be free. Yeah, so what I'm different. I don't need envy to become my religion. A size 10 isn't keeping me from living. I'm gonna be alright. And it's difficult to see, filter through the superficial things. So I'm getting down on my knees, telling the guy on my left shoulder to leave. Yeah, I gotta stop myself. By myself, it's not all about me. I gotta stop myself, so I can breathe. I wanna be free. I wanna be free. Sometimes the voices fill my head and tell me I'm better off at home instead. Why am I still playing this game? When will I be okay with second place? And at night the thoughts are on my head. What's the use to being perfect if I can't rest my head? So I'm putting down the fight, turning off the lights. Tonight I gotta stop myself. By myself, it's not all about me. Oh, I gotta stop myself. I wanna be free. I wanna be free. I wanna be free. I wanna be free.
Wow. Hey, that is great.
Thank you.
Wow. This is an original song that you wrote, right?
Yes, it is.
Wow, it's so deep and so emotional. I was listening to every word, and everybody feels that way at some point or another, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
What inspired you to write that?
So I noticed that a lot of us, we tend to go on like social media and online and just compare our lives to everybody else. And this song is really about just throwing away jealousy, because the reality is we're all just putting an image of ourselves. That isn't completely true out there.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not always perfect.
No. So tell me a little bit about how you got involved in music and things like that. Did you pick it up because somebody in the family did it, or you just got inspired on your own? How did that happen?
So basically, well, I've always sang in church, and then I also, when I got my first dog, well, I always had my first dog, but I always would sing to her around the house, and then...
I've never heard anybody ever tell me that before.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, but it's what I used to do.
But it worked. It worked for you.
And then in second grade, there was a play called Mulan coming out, and all my friends are talking about it, like auditioning for it. So I was like, I'm going to learn this song. My dad was like, you're not going to learn this song. And I was like, yeah, I will. So I learned the song, but I never ended up auditioning. But that's kind of what started it all.
So you got challenged, right?
Yeah.
And you were like, all right, I'll show you. I can do that, right?
Yeah.
So when you sang to the dog, did the dog, go, woo, anything like that? Like,
He didn't say anything. So.
hey, Chops, you ever sing to your dog before?
No.
That's a good one. But, something like that, it sounds silly and we're joking about it. But, it just got you comfortable, like you're going to sing, right? You know?
Yeah.
Now, tell me about the writing of music, because for someone who watches musicians all the time and enjoys music and everything, you never really think about the work that goes into it. So how does it work for you? Do you sit down and, scratch your head and go, oh, my God, I gotta come up with something, or does something just come to you? How does that happen?
For me, the best songs that I write are the songs that I'm not trying to write. They'll just come to me, or I'll just have an idea or a feeling, and I'll just write about it.
Those are always the best ones, when you're not
Always,
trying, right?
When I'm not trying.
Now, I know you're going to perform a second song for us tonight, another original. What is this one called, and what inspired you to write this one?
So this one's called I Have Hope in Us, and it's about forgiving people, and it's about learning to love each other. And I just really love the song. It's very close to my heart.
All right, well, great. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, Amy Manny.
You and I have seen some rainy days. We walked uncovered in the pouring rain. We took the punches and got drenched with pain, but we felt it together. And I know some days the going got so rough, but there is always hope if you just look enough. I believe in you, and I have hope in us. I believe in love and never giving up. And if you just have faith, that'll be enough. I believe in you, and I have hope in us. Gasoline, it don't put out a flame, but we still put it in anyway. Breathing the toxic fumes, got burned with shame, but we can rebuild what's broken together. And it's just one brick at a time. We all just need a little patience in our lives. I believe in you, and I have hope in us if we just forgive. can start to love. And if we just embrace each day as it comes, I believe in you, and I have hope in us. I believe in you, I have hope in us. If we just forgive, we can start to love. And if we all just come together, realize we are one. I believe in you, and I have hope in us.
Wow. You know, that's a great song anyway, but especially right now. That's an uplifting song. We all have to do what you say in that song. There's no question about it. You're from Dartmouth, right?
Yes, I am.
And you got some family support here. Your dad's here tonight. Yeah. And we have another gentleman here.
Gene.
All right, and what is the connection with you and this gentleman?
Gene has just been amazing. He's been helping me out with writing, and he's been producing my music for me because, you know, we all need a little help with something. So he's been helping me a whole bunch, and it's just been making such a big difference. So I'm so thankful for him.
Future plans for you.
Yes.
What about you? What are your plans?
Well, right now I'm going to UMass Dartmouth, and I am studying jazz vocals, and I'm hoping to become a jazz teacher or a vocals teacher for students or any kind of teacher. But in the meantime, I'm still working on my music and trying to put it out there and see if anything happens.
Well, I can tell you have such a great passion for the music, and you feel it, and you write so well, and those words are just really moving, and we've really enjoyed having you here tonight. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you so much for having me.
Amy Manny, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, you see that Amy Manny? She's got the skills to pay the bills,
man,
right?
Skills, man.
And how about Jackie Santos? That guy, man. You see, you saw the name dropping like all these people.
Man,
you know, that was great.
He's a legend, man.
Yeah, he's a legend. He's a legend. That was really great there. We got to have him back again.
Yeah,
We got to have him
man.
back. All right. Well, what are you up to this week, my friend?
I'm getting ready to play Friday. I'm playing Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
Tomatoes. Then a PT65.
All right. And then you're going to be turning 60 pretty soon, huh?
Oh, yeah, a couple of weeks, man.
Wow. Welcome to the club.
Get out of here, man.
Welcome to the club.
Man.
Hey, man. Hey, you know what? You look really good. You look really good for your age. You know what I mean? Hey, Chops, did you have some work done or something? You know, a little Botox or something? No? You look... No, you don't need it.
Man.
No, you don't need it.
These guys are no good, man.
All right, we gotta go. I'd like to thank our guest, the all-time drummer. Thank you, Jackie Santos, for being here tonight.
Yeah, man.
Singer-songwriter Amy Manny.
Yeah.
Thanks to our sponsors, Bay Coast Bank, Duso and Zader. Our producers, Josh Souza and Justin Pereira, right over there. And the sidekick of the century, Mr. Chops Turner. All right, next week, we have a fantastic singer, somebody who sings with you, Colleen Marshall's going to be here.
Colleen.
Oh, man, she is awesome. And by the way, pretty soon, we got a new addition to the show. We might be adding a house band. Do you hear about this?
Oh, my
God,
the house band. The new band.
Oh, my God.
The Jackie Santos band.
We're going to be driving everybody crazy. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Anyway, we'll see what happens. Imagine this show with a house band. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Chops Turner plus a house band?
Yeah, the house band.
Oh, we're going to take it right over the top. Right over the top, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, thanks a lot for watching tonight. We hope you've been a little bit of a distraction from everything that's going on. God bless you all. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next Monday night right here. Have a great night, everybody.